Yes, it's George Street. And this is the site of 22 George Street. And here we have Chrissy, as she was known then, Sue, Dave, with guitar in hand, and Des.
Right, this is the same old guitar that I had when we lived in George Street. I bought it from the Grove for 30 quid in 1975. It's completely knackered now. It's only any good for bottleneck because the neck is completely warped, but I keep it for sentimental reasons, and I brought it back here. It still sounds just about alright.
Now, is that something you learnt in the front room of George Street, that one? Was that the one you learnt there?
No, Robert Johnson taught me that.
Oh, that's Robert Johnson. But wasn't there a particular one that you developed in the front room of 22 George Street?
Dave used to play along to the first track on Let It Bleed.
Give me
Shelter.
Give me shelter.
And
yeah.
and I'd sit there watching you play along with it, and I'm like, this is brilliant. You know. Yeah, Give Me Shelter.
Yeah. No, I can actually remember playing along to it.
Yeah.
I can remember sitting in Rob's room.
Yeah, that was
room,
it. Yeah.
With it on his stereo.
Yeah.
Which was his stereo. Do you remember he bought that with his money for his 21st birthday?
Did he?
Yeah, he got a big cheque from his parents for his 21st.
Right.
And he gave most of it to the party.
Yeah.
And he just kept enough to buy himself a stereo.
Yeah.
And I can remember sitting in his room with you.
Here we all are again at George Street. I think we'd like to first of all make a particular greeting to Gerald over there in Mexico. Hi there, Gerald.
Hi, Gerald.
Hi, Gerald.
Anyway, here we are at George Street. This is the boundary wall between the property of 22 George Street and the old People's Place next door. This is where the house was. It's in that front room, which was Rob's bedroom. It was demolished in about 1976, probably. Soon after we all left in 1975.
The whole street's gone, and in fact the whole network of streets has been flattened right across to Fratton Road, this enclave, and it's all new. It's newish housing.
We were talking last time we were here last year about music we used to listen to, and we have fond memories of listening things to like Inner Visions by Stevie Wonder a lot. Yeah. That we were talking, weren't we, about the Chevere one, weren't we?
Which Gerald used to play over and over again.
Gerald used to play over and over again, so we'll never forget that. And in fact, the other day I was listening on my MP3 player, which has got about 4,000 tracks on it, on shuffle, and that particular song came up. What was it? Living for the City?
No, I think it was called Don't You Worry About a Thing.
Don't worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing. That's right. Yeah. Gerald used to listen to loads of Jethro Tull as well.
Yeah. But we all had different interests in music, so we could sort of check into things that you wouldn't fertile place to live really, because you had like lots of different characters and people who were sort of you'd have discussions about things at the most unlikely times, but it was highly instructive, frankly. I mean, in Debenhams, we were just talking about the generated work of state and state capitalism. And I was saying how that conversation was exactly what we used to do in the student union.
Well, it was a pivotal issue.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was a major issue.
Yeah.
You know, so and then there was food as well. You know,
yeah, food is well worth mentioning. Yeah,
Gerald was very much a cook, and there was also, if you remember, Bob Edwards. That I'd forgotten this. That Gerald and Bob Edwards used to do curries, and Bob would bring meat round, and they'd discuss recipes.
Yeah,
for
very tough bits of gristly lamb he used to bring along, and he'd boil them for about 3 hours till they got some sort of tenderness to them. And then, but what Gerald knew about was the basics of Indian cookery.
Yeah.
He knew it was more than just curry powder,
Yeah.
and he knew about the different spices on which he picked up from friends he'd known previously. So he used to get these, he used to cook these fantastic curries.
Especially with broad beans.
But broad beans,
He used to harvest the broad beans from the back garden.
yeah.
They were really pretty revolting.
Whilst
Did bloody well with it.
Whilst Gerald was the curry cook, I was the gardener,
Farmer.
the farmer. Yeah. In that I cooked. I grew broad beans.